Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well in these challenging times. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jesse Neiman. I'm an avid musician. I've been playing music for most of my short life. I started the violin when I was a mere 6 years old, and soon after that I picked up the piano, which I play very actively these days. I've really been enjoying just diving into all of the amazing repertoire that has been written for piano. Along my musical career, I've also tried to learn a couple other instruments. I've tried learning the organ, the cello, the trumpet, the flute, and just a couple other instruments. Now the last couple of years, I've been trying to come to retirement homes on a regular basis and play some music for all of you people. But obviously due to the recent COVID-19 events, that I've unfortunately been unable to do that. And so I've missed seeing you guys, and I've missed being able to play my music for you. So although I can't come to your retirement home and play for you, I thought I would try to have a concert in my own home and then see if you could listen to it from wherever you are. And so today I have compiled some of my favorite pieces from the Baroque period. And I'm going to play them for you and also give a little bit of explanation about each piece. My goal is, hopefully I'll be having a couple more concerts, and I'm planning on going through the different periods of classical music. So this week, I'll be focusing on the music of the Baroque period. And to start us off, I'm going to be playing Scarlatti's Sonata, Kürkel No. 1 in D minor. I hope you all enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that charming little sonata by Scarlatti. Now, as I said before, today's concert is going to be focusing on music from the Baroque period. Now, the Baroque period was a period of classical music that lasted from 1600 AD until 1750 AD. And it is during this period that the music really starts to become much like what we see later in classical music periods. The musical notation starts to become much more standardized, to a point that if I were to go look at an original Baroque manuscript of music, I would probably be able to tell what they were trying to say. Whereas if I were to go to a previous musical period, it would probably be very hard for me to discern what the composer was trying to write. Now, some of the characteristics that most prominently define the Baroque period. Of course, there are many, many different styles, but some of the most prominent ones include lots of counterpoint usage and lots of ornamentation. And some of the composers who were most prominent during this time include Domenico Scarlatti. He's the composer of the sonata that I just played for you, as well as Antonio Vivaldi, George Philipp Telemann, Johann Pachelbel, and of course Johann Sebastian Bach. And it is one of his pieces that I'm going to be playing for you next. It comes from his Well-Tempered Clavier. Now, the Well-Tempered Clavier is an amazing piece of work. In it, Bach wrote a prelude and a fugue in every single key for the harpsichord. And they're really ingenious pieces. Most of the preludes can either be categorized into a song or a dance. And so as I play mine, I would invite you to try to see, do you think it's a song or do you think it's a dance? And then in the fugues are purely ingenious. In the fugues, what Bach will do is he will take a theme, and then he will take that theme and he will repeat it later in the piece. Sometimes in the soprano voice, sometimes in the tenor voice, sometimes he'll do it in a different key. But however he does it, he'll ingeniously weave it into the song in a way that sounds marvelous. Now, in the fugue that I'm going to be playing for you, I'm just going to play for you the theme. And then later on, as I play the fugue, see if you can hear that theme come up over and over again. So here's the theme. It sounds like this. And that theme, it starts out in the tenor voice, but then it's repeated throughout the piece in many, many different voices. And it's truly amazing. I hope you enjoy Bach's Prelude and Fugue in A minor, BWV 889. Now, although I just played those two pieces for you on the piano, it was likely that they were not originally written for the piano. Rather, they were probably written for either the harpsichord or the clavichord. Now, these are two instruments that were much more prominent during the Baroque era, before the creation of the pianoforte. And there was something very different about them. You see, the way that they produced sound was fundamentally different from how we produce sound on the piano. On the piano, when I press a key, it actuates a hammer to hit a set of strings. And that is what creates a sound. And because of how it works, depending on how quickly or how slowly, depending on how I press the key, I can create different levels of noise, of sound. But the clavichord and the harpsichord produce sound in a different way. The harpsichord, when you press the key, it would pluck the string. And the result of this is that on the harpsichord or the clavichord, it was really, really hard to create different levels of dynamics. And so it was around 1700 when Bartolomeo Cristofori invented the first piano. And he called it the clavicembalo col piano e forte, which literally translated means the clavichord that can play loudly and softly. Now you see, even in the original name, it tells you about what was so ingenious about it. Because by allowing the musician to be able to play at different levels of loudness, it just opened up an entire new world of musicality and expressions that a performer could employ. And that piano paved the way for our future pianos and the piano that we use today. And they weren't as common back then, because the first one was invented around 1700. But it is likely that Bach was able to play on a piano, on a modern piano. Now the next piece that I'm going to be playing for you is from Bach's Cello Suite No. 1. And I'm sure you've all heard of it, and so I will let the music speak for itself. I hope you enjoy Bach's Cello Suite No. 1. enjoy that timeless classic by Bach. Now, the next piece I'm going to be playing for you, I'm going to be playing for you on the violin. And it is again by Johann Sebastian Bach, this time coming from his unaccompanied sonatas and partitas for the violin. Now, these are great works, but it is really sad that for most of their life after Bach wrote them, they were not regularly performed. In fact, they were very much they were mostly left in abandonment for most of their life. And it wasn't until the famous violinist Joseph Joachim, he started incorporating these Bach violin sonatas and partitas into his regular repertoire. And since then, musicians and violinists especially have discovered what marvelous piece of works that these are. And so they have become a standard part of every violinist's repertoire. Today, I will be playing the Sarabande from Bach's Sonata for Violin, number 2. I hope you enjoy. enjoying this concert that I've put together for you today. And today, the last song that I'm going to be playing is Bach's Concerto for 2 violins. And now, the second violinist is actually going to be my sister, Leah Neiman. She's a freshman in high school, and she's been playing violin and piano for most of her life as well. She truly is an amazing musician. And we're going to be playing for you, as I said, Bach's Concerto for 2 violins. I hope you've enjoyed this performance, and hopefully in the near future I'll be able to continue giving you another performance. Next time, I'll be featuring the music of the classical period. So I hope you all are staying healthy and safe, and have a great day.
Thank you.